So I posted this poll on LinkedIn just to figure out what are some online learning platforms that people are using. And these are some of the ones that I've personally used in the past. And it looks like Udemy had we don't want to say a blowout, but they're winning by almost 30%. And I got a whole 8 votes. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to the people that voted for this. And I got one like. Awesome. Thank you for the person who liked this. Whoever you are, thank you very much for the like. Now let's get into this. So let's take a look at LinkedIn Learning. And as you can see here, here's some of the things that they recommend based on my current role. So right now my title is Senior IT Analyst, and it looks like they're giving me a bunch of roles based on analyst jobs or just things that I've looked at in the past. So looks like cybersecurity risk management, the CISA certification, or just auditing in general, which honestly that would be pretty good. Elicitation, ooh, that sounds interesting. Learning Linux, I definitely need to do that. But just a bunch of different recommendations from LinkedIn Learning. But let's take a look at some of the courses that I have done. So if we go to My Learning and then go to Learning History, you can see all the courses that I have completed. And it's very easy to get your certificate. So if you can see here, let me zoom in, I can download my certificate of completion from here. And it's very easy. I really like LinkedIn Learning. Now, just because I saw prenatal yoga as a course offered, we're going to do a search for that. And this, prenatal, anything, roles and resources. They don't talk about prenatal anything, which is interesting because it's linked on learning. LinkedIn, you think they would appreciate motherhood and have an appreciation for people coming into roles of adulthood and having children. Why isn't anything prenatal offered as a course? Interesting. So now let's compare that to Pluralsight. As you can see here, they have a lot of things on Pluralsight. I have taken a look at Azure and Cisco CyberOps on here. I've completed one of their Cisco CyberOps certifications or courses, and it was actually pretty decent. But let's do a search for prenatal. And as you can see, we get nothing, and that's interesting. Pluralsight does not care about your health as a woman. Interesting. But let's look at how to get our certificate of completion. So type in cyber. Actually, no. So from here, I can go to, it shows my learning history, and then I'll click on View All, and then here is where I can click on my certificate of completion, and very easy, shows I've completed 2 hours of Cisco CyberOps. So in general, I just wanted to take another look at how to get to your certificate of completion. So if you click on the home and then select View All, it will show the courses that you've completed or at least started, and then you can select here on the icon, and this is how you get your certificate of completion. And honestly, I think Pluralsight should update this so it's easier to get to your certificate of completion. Now, for me showing you, it seems pretty easy, but I think for the average user, you have to do some searching online on how to figure out where do I go to get my certificate. So here we are at the Udemy site, and this site is not one that I'm subscribed to through a company or anything. This is my personal Udemy account. So it's showing a lot of courses that I've looked up or have taken in the past. But I'll show you how easy it is to get your certificate of completion. So here's a course that I've completed, and what I did was go to My Learning and then went to this course here, and I've completed everything that it takes. I've completed all the videos, all the quizzes, and once you're done, it allows you to print off your certificate and it'll pop up in another window. So it's pretty easy to get your certificate of completion for Udemy. Now let's look up prenatal. And would you look at that? It looks like Udemy cares about women. They care about your health as you go through childbirth. And honestly, this might be why Udemy is, I don't want to say the #1 online resource for learning, but out of the 8 votes that I got, 5 out of 8 were saying Udemy is the place to go for learning. So now let's compare this to Skillsoft. I don't have a Skillsoft account at all. I've done some training through Skillsoft, which the platform is pretty great. Let's just do a search for prenatal. And there are 0 results. What's going on, Skillsoft? You don't care about parents? You don't care about women's health? Why aren't there any prenatal courses? So now let's do a search for Azure on each of the sites and see what we get. And as you can see here, you get a lot of, so this one's 3 minutes, so it may not be the entire course. It might just be a video that is titled with Azure, which leads you to an entire course about Azure. And we get a lot of hits on LinkedIn Learning, which is pretty good. Now let's take a look at Pluralsight. What do we get with Pluralsight when we type in Azure? And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it does something similar where you may be getting a piece of a course, but there are a ton of courses on Azure on Pluralsight. And let's do the same thing for Udemy. And as you can see here, there are a ton of courses on Azure on Udemy as well. And finally, we'll do the same thing for Skillsoft. Wow, a lot of Azure courses on Skillsoft as well. And I personally like the clean look of Skillsoft. This is very clean, the way they present the courses compared to Udemy and Pluralsight. Anyway, if there are more online resources that you know about that teach anything, leave a comment or send me a personal message. Say, hey, I want you to check this out, and I will. And let me know so we can get to the bottom of what is the best online learning platform for CEUs and just general online learning